Hey everyone, how's it going? I am iamxeracon. I am back once again. Today's Was a Good video is going to be about Transformers 2007. Before I get into it though, I'll briefly provide my history with the Transformers series. I have not seen G1 yet, but I do respect what it did for the franchise, especially since this movie uses G1 as the primary source material. Uh, I do intend on picking up the DVD set eventually, but G1 though, that was just before my time. I remember Beast Wars existing as a young kid, or at least I had heard about the series, but it wasn't being broadcasted anymore. I think my older cousin had a Cheetah Transformer from Beast Wars, but I could be wrong. Where I was introduced with the series was the Unicron trilogy, specifically Armada, which was my first Transformers show. I remember watching it on Cartoon Network and getting the action figures. I might even have a few in a box somewhere. But like that was primarily where I was introduced to it. But moving along, I was very stoked to see Transformers in theaters. And seriously, it was going to be awesome for me. I mean, my parents took me to see it, and I really enjoyed it. Like when I got home, I watched some of the Transformers Energon episodes I had on tape, and I was playing with my action figures. I had so much fun. Like that was a good time for me. But of course, the film series hasn't been so hot. I mean, it was it was last year I watched The Last Night, which I had borrowed from my library, and I stopped it within 10 minutes of starting it. I mean, this was the first movie I had ever watched that made me feel like I was killing my brain cells. Uh, I mean, I mean, seriously, that's how bad it was. I ended up skipping most scenes in the movie and only watched the film if there was at least one Transformer on scene. But back to this movie though. So it's been a good amount of time since I've seen Transformers 2007, and I hoped that even if I didn't enjoy it as much as I did when I was young, that I would at least find it to be decent. So that being said, was it good? No, no, no. I hated it. After hearing Optimus's opening speech and being introduced to the army cast, I realized that I didn't like anyone. I mean, actually, I hate a lot of the characters. I don't care for others, and there are only like two of them that I might actually like, or enough. So let's see. The initial group of soldiers that we see in the first 5 minutes are pretty much dismissible. They're all just single trait characters with little more personality than that. The only one that I actually like is Captain Lennox, and that's just because he is competent and doesn't have some quip and any other like smart quip every 5 minutes like the other the other soldiers in his team. So like I mean, don't get me wrong, he doesn't have any major character development or anything like that, but he would be one of the few characters that I would actually want to survive. And then of course we're introduced to the main characters, and oh boy, this is actually where I almost stopped this movie. I mean, I would have stopped it if it wasn't for the fact that I needed to watch it to make this video. So Sam Witwicky, he is so bad, and then also the dialogue in this movie is downright atrocious at times, and just so awkward. But Sam has no likable or redeeming qualities at all. We're only supposed to like him because he's the main character, and at the time, everyone under the age of 15 had watched Holes and even Stevens, so it's Shia LaBeouf. Michaela, oof, she's just as bad, if not worse, than Sam. And I mean, like, seriously, what purpose does she serve at all? Besides, the obvious one. She contributes nothing to the story. I mean, they could have written her out and practically had every event would not have been impacted with her missing. I mean, heck, two more films and she'll be written out anyway. Every other character in Sam's life is also inconsequential. I had to remind myself that I was watching Transformers and not some dumb comedy. Like, seriously, it was killing me. Now, the only other human character that I liked was Bernie Mac as Uncle Bobby B. He was just Bernie Mac being Bernie Mac, and I actually appreciated his humor. Every other character in the movie who acted as comic relief irritated me to no end, but Bernie Mac actually made me chuckle, so thank you for that. The plot of the movie isn't bad or anything. It's pretty straightforward stuff. However, there are a few plot holes that I noticed. first, Megatron has been frozen for over a century, maybe more, but when he's awakened, he knows English perfectly and he knows where to exit from where he's at. He knows about humans, knows about his fellow Decepticons being there, and none of it's explained. Second, when Sam trips while carrying the Allspark, he accidentally creates 3 Decepticons. One was the lady's Cadillac, one was an Xbox or something, and the other was a vending machine. What happened to them? Were they destroyed in the battle? Did they flee? No one knows. And lastly, why does the Allspark create only Decepticons? I mean, couldn't it be used to create Autobots as well? Or are the new machines simply reflecting a Cybertronian's natural behavior? Prime stated that their race used to be as violent as the human race, but he could be referring to how they acted during the war on Cybertron, and not how their race has always behaved. I mean, there actually was a period of peace on Cybertron. So I could be digging too deeply into this, but but it still doesn't dismiss the question as to like why are only the new Transformers like basically Decepticons? And actually, if they are Decepticons, like I said, it's still why not just try to create more Autobots to fight the Decepticons? That doesn't make sense at all. Something I do like about the movie is the score, though. Steve Jablonsky did a great job at writing the music, and highlights from his works are Autobots, Arrival to Earth, and especially Scorponok. That is beautiful. I believe he studied under Hans Zimmer, and if so, like his studying paid off. Like I think that was pretty great. The action scenes were decent enough, and I thought they were pretty good. However, because we spent so much time with human subplots, they felt so far and so few. After watching the movie, I actually remembered that I had the graphic novel adaptation of Transformers along with a prequel graphic novel. I gave them a reread, and wow, they were so much better than the movie. Pointless filler was cut out from the movie adaptation, dumb jokes were removed, and while the character development was absent, I didn't hate anyone. Agent Simmons was a completely competent character instead of being some sort of partially competent goofball. And when Megatron was revived, he actually stated that he was always aware, he always had been aware, and he was aware of how humans had used his technology to wage war with other nations and then declare that they were not worthy of life. So that actually gave him some motivation. It gave him a reason as to why he hated humans, and also it shows why he was capable of like knowing where he was, knowing English and his natural surroundings. So, I mean, you could say that maybe like this is to like sort of explain it so that way you understand why it happened in the movie, but if you need an outside source to help you understand the primary source, which the outside source is based on, then you're not writing correctly. Like your story is wrong because you need to have supplemental material to help you understand the basic plot. That's not how writing works. Or that's not how good writing works, I should say. I mean, and then also, unlike in the movie, Optimus also says that he would like this is right where he was making his plan with the Autobots. Before they actually went to get the Allspark. It's at that point he said that he would merge the Allspark with his spark when they obtain it, so it can't fall into the Decepticons' hands. Unlike in the movie where he said he would actually do it as a last minute resort. So he was like going all out, saying like, all right, we're not going to take any chances. And so by doing that, that leaves less room for failure. And so, you know what? I think that's great. Now, don't get me wrong. The adaptation isn't perfect, but it's way better than the film by a long shot. And the prequel graphic novel is even better than the movie graphic novel. I mean, there's more characterization from quite a few characters. Bumblebee has a great moment in the beginning. Like, his scene was awesome. Megatron's obsession and his downfall when he gets to Earth is explored, and the Decepticons have great dialogue and character interaction that, it actually makes them seem believable. I mean, here's also another thing in the movie. The Decepticons, they were so stale. I mean, they were just like, okay, we're the bad guys, but like you really couldn't like they didn't really have any character. They didn't have any depth to them. They were so static that I mean, like I couldn't care about them one way or another, to be honest. Like that's how bad it was. The characterization was, but like in the prequel though, it felt better. Also, Agent Simmons' fixation with the Transformers is explained as well, and that was very good stuff. And so like and so that's why like it really just like irks me more. Like this was so much better than the movie. So Transformers, unlike every other Was It Good video where I pointed out some redeeming aspects to recommend it to some degree, there's little in this movie for me to actually do that right now. The movie that I enjoyed as a kid is gone. Like I really can't look at the movie the same way again. But I do recommend the movie and prequel graphic novels. In fact, I'll actually leave a link to them in the description box below on Amazon, so you can go and buy them. And it's like pretty cheap. I checked. These are superior to the movies, and definitely a case where you could say the manga is better than the anime. But that will do it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it. Share your favorite Transformers moments in the comments below. Feel free to follow me on Twitter for channel information updates, in addition to my thoughts on various aspects of geek culture. And feel free to subscribe as well. So until next time, everyone, I am iamxeracon signing out. Have a good one.